Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Palma Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and today I'm pleased to introduce Werner Puntschart. Correct?
Yes, very correct. Thank you, Ria, for giving me this chance, and I'm very happy, and yeah, looking forward to our nice interview.
Yeah, well, you are the Chief Sales Officer of Silent Yachts. Now, I've already had the pleasure of interviewing Franz, and we had a great conversation. But the whole concept behind Silent Yachts, for me, is really great. I mean, the things that you guys are doing over at Silent Yachts, it ticks all the boxes. We are continuing to live our best lives. We are continuing with a luxury product, but at the same time, we are being far kinder to the environment through what you guys are doing. I wanted to start, though, by getting a little bit of your background. Where are you from originally? And I understand you're a bit of a sailor.
Yes, yes. Oh, my background. Basically, yes, I'm living in Austria. I was born in Austria, and since my childhood, I have a very strong passion for the sea, and not even passion. It's a desire. Let's say it, let's say it for this. And I'm now sailing. And I started my sailing. I think it was in the age of when I was 15. Now I'm other way around, the numbers are other way around, and yeah, and since then I was always on being on board on sailing boats, and especially on monohull sailings, and I was doing this, and it is still a passion of me, but yeah, that's the way I'm coming from. And from my business side, yes, I in my past I was managing, especially in also in smaller and in bigger companies, mostly sales departments, sales and marketing departments, and so on. So this is my background, and now I made my two passions. One is to sell, and the other one is to sail and to cruise. I made my passions to my daily work, and this is fantastic.
Well, that's all we can ask for in life, I think. When a
Yeah,
job becomes what your passion is, then you've
yeah,
completed what you need to complete.
yeah. That's it. So yes, I'm living my dream. Yeah.
That's perfect. You know what? Like I said, one of the things that really struck me was throughout the situation that the world is in right now. The story that I read online was absolutely one of the most positive things that I had seen. Not only were you guys going from strength to strength, but as well, you were being extremely kind to the environment while still allowing those to live their best lives. How did Silent Yachts come about, and where did they start as far as working with solar panels?
Well, yes, this started out roughly 15 years ago, because our first Silent Yacht was put in water for 10 years ago and is still cruising somewhere in Greece. And the idea behind was by our founder and CEO Michael and his wife Heike, because it's a very nice story. Michael was with his former catamaran once laying in a very nice bay. It was a very nice summer day, no wind, just sun. Everything is fine, and he had to do some repair on the rig and was up there, and he was looking down and saying, "Okay, I'm in a situation. There is no wind, so my sails will not work. There is no wind, so my wind wheel will not work and gives me some power and some energy for my boat. I can start my engine for sure, but this in this nice quiet bay, it will cause fumes, it will cause loudness, it will cost fuels and so on. Not the best situation." And then he saw his solar panel. He already had it installed on his catamaran there, and then he said, "Now the only thing I gain energy for my boat is this solar panel. So there must be a way to power a boat only by solar combined with electric engines, for environment to stay also on other nice summer days in a bay quiet, without having fumes, without having noise, without having vibrations. This was the idea behind, and then the journey started.
Well, as a sailor, and I'm imagining that you spend a lot of time on the Silent Yachts and as well sailing still, how would you compare the two? Because I know sailors are very passionate about
Yes.
sailing. How would you compare being on a sailboat and being on a silent yacht?
First time being on a silent yacht was entering a new era for me, to be honest, because first time when I was, it was, by the way, it was our Silent 55, which was awarded last year with the Best of Boat Award in the category of travel, and we are very proud on. And first I entered the boat, I was thinking, not possible. I was thinking it's not possible because we are talking here about a length of 55 feet. Yeah. Why do we have that much living space here? Because when you're entering, the first you will see is a salon of about 40 square meter on a 55 feet catamaran, and a room height more than 2 meters. So I wasn't used to. So I had a lot of space. Yeah. This was the first one when I said, "Wow, not possible." Also going to the cabins, unbelievable. The space, the living space you get offered on this boat, and this was the biggest surprise. And then um, the next let's say the next wow moment, yeah, was when I was first in the when I get a possibility to cruise the first time, because normal, okay, pulling up the anchor, everything fine, and then starting, and the boat was moving. The boat was moving, even on little throttle, it was moving quite powerful, quite nice, and I heard nothing. I said, okay, something is wrong. There are no sails, and I hear nothing. Something must be wrong. And then, even with more power, you didn't hear anything. And this was for me really the first, maybe the biggest wow moment I ever had in yachting, because um, to experience by yourself that it is possible to drive a catamaran, to drive a luxury huge catamaran without any noise, without any fumes, without any vibrations, and just hearing the sound of water as you are used it from a sailing boat. And by the way, all sailors will know the situation. If you really want to speed up with a sailing boat, the sailing boat is not silent anymore, because there you need a lot of wind. And if you're having a wind of, I don't know, let's say 16, 18 knots, it's not silent anymore, because then the wind also is loud. So, this was amazing, yeah, and this was amazing. And then you're cruising, and you see on your display, okay, I'm cruising now with a speed of 6 knots, and I'm still charging energy, because you use less energy for cruising than you gain at this moment by the solar panels. So you have a net income to the batteries. And this was amazing, an amazing moment for me. Yeah?
Well, and you are actually building bigger and bigger yachts.
Yes, yes. Current our range is starting with 55, then with our amazing new Silent 60, which is wow, which will be a very improvement, and will set new milestones also in the 60-foot catamaran range, and for sure the Silent 80. Yes, this will be a completely new era of catamaraning. Even there are other catamarans already on the market in same or even in bigger size, which are also nice boats, but um, it will be something very unique and very special.
Well, and one thing I did notice in going through photographs of the silent yachts, and for the idea of size, and people saying, well, we want our toys, and so the ultra high net worth individual nowadays, they're looking for not necessarily larger yachts, but they're also looking for yachts that will accommodate, their tenders and their toys. And I came across quite a few photographs that show the Silent Yachts is totally capable
Yes.
of keeping those on board.
Yes, for sure, for sure. When we are talking, for example, when we are talking about, let's take the example with the Silent 80. There on the port side, you will have a garage for a tender of 4.5 meter length. So this will easily go in. Then you will have another garage on the starboard side for water toys. Yeah, to be honest, I think until you will get this garage filled with all your water toys, yes, it will take some time. So because the dimensions are totally huge, and for one from one of our future owners. We had we had a request. He wants to have a gyrocopter on his platform, and this is something we realized there. So he can have his gyrocopter on the platform. Once he wants to start it, we just lower the platform, pulling it down with the dinghy. He can get in and just start with his gyrocopter with the floats on. So it's possible.
Nice. Well, and I'm wondering if one of the reasons that Silent Yachts is really seeing quite an increase in sales as well is the fact that more and more people are becoming more aware of the environment and more aware of their impact on the environment. Do you think that is why Silent Yachts is continuing to see sort of a growth in sales?
Yes, for sure. This is for sure one part because while keeping care on the environment, it's more and more prioritized in our daily life. And the second one is really people who are staying on board and people who are spending their time on board. They want to have quality in the time on board, and they will. This is also is the feedback we get every time when we met clients on board, or people who are doing sea trials as their last step before purchasing a boat, and then they really tell us, yes, that's what I'm seeing from yachting. I want to stay in a quiet bay, and it should stay quiet, without any generator running, without any engines running. Just just as an example, yeah, during the summer, if you enter a bay, you will have a lot of yachts there, and most of them have to run the generators just to keep the boat alive, the systems of the boat. We are not talking about air condition, we are just talking about the systems you need that the boat keeps alive. And then we come in with our Silent Yacht, dropping the anchor. No generator is running, nothing is running. We are doing our barbecue with an electric barbecue in our cockpit, and during this time we are charging energy. And more than one time we got the reaction from the other boats when they were looking at us and just couldn't believe what they are doing. And our guests on board and our clients on board said, okay, please, can they stop the generator? Why do they making this noise, and what's going on? And this is the main difference, and this is quality of time on board. No noise, no silence, no fumes. And there is another point. uh, People are getting more and more busy these days, and when they are on board, and when they have, I don't know, let's say for example 2 weeks of holiday, they want to stay on board, they want to see bays with their yachting, they want to do cruisings, and they not want to wait in front of a fuel station for a couple of hours until they get to refill their boat. So, and during others waiting in front and staying or cruising in a queue in front of a fuel station, we are staying on board, enjoy swimming, enjoy laying in the sun, enjoy ourselves, or having also a nice drink. Why not?
And I can imagine that for those that aren't necessarily concerned about the environment or any such thing, the fuel saving costs must be phenomenal.
Yes, it's unbelievable. To be honest, you have to. this is something I also by myself I was surprised because just as an example, yeah, during the last summer we stayed with 155 at Mallorca and doing sea trials there. And we were doing sea trials really every day, either with clients or with journalists and so on. So we were really cruising every day, also with people who stayed on board for 4 or 5 days. And after this, after the end of the seasons, we for sure we had a check and we were looking, and then we recognized every sixth week we went to the fuel station and filling in 300 liter of diesel. That's it. But we were cruising every day between 10 and 20 nautical miles minimum, and this
Wow.
from May until October. So
That's amazing. I mean, the amount of money that you could save just on fuel costs, you could do amazing things with that. I mean, you could
yes,
have
for
the
sure.
best crew, the best everything on your yacht.
Yes, because just to give you an example, if you run, for sure, we also have a generator on board as an additional possibility for charging the batteries. No, it's just not linked to the drive shaft, nothing. It's just for additional charging of the battery. But once you run this generator for 1 hour, it will give you 100 kilowatt hours of energy, which is saved in the batteries. So with this, you can drive, depends on your speed you're cruising, but with this you can drive 5 hours, maybe 6 hours, as it depends on speeds and conditions. So, and during this time you burned, for sure, you burned roughly 30 liter of diesel, but divided them by six, you burned really nothing. So, and this is not there is not calculated what you get in by the sun. So
That's amazing.
without
So,
with and without I have to add this, and without any missing any luxury, because you have your air conditioner on board, you have your induction cooking on board, you have your dishwasher on board, you have your washing machine on board, you have your large side by side freezer including ice cubes on board. So you have your televisions for sure and everything. So uh, and the only thing which we have not on board is gas. There is no gas on board. So
and that's a good thing.
yes, it's a very good thing because gas on one side it could be dangerous, and on the other side, gas causes heat, and heat is something you have to cool, and to cool the heat you need energy, and we don't need this energy. We put this energy in cruising.
For those that have a feeling that bigger is better, is Silent Yachts looking in the future to continue to make a bigger boat, or are they sort of capping it at a certain size?
Mm, basically, we are not, or basically, yes, we are thinking about, yes, we are thinking about. Current, we are in the situation we have a very nice range, and especially if you compare the living space, yeah, for on a 80-foot catamaran, yes, you have to go for more than 110, 120 feet mono to have the same living space there. Just to give you an example, on our Silent 83 deck, the fly bridge has 75 square meters.
Wow.
So please
Yes.
show it on another one. But beside, yes, for sure, we are thinking about, and if we will design boats in the future, we are also thinking about to go 90 feet or even more. Yes, for sure. Why not?
So you're always pushing the boundaries and always pushing the limits and looking to meet the market demand.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. We are going it step by step. We have now developed a very nice range. We can yeah, we can offer a lot of living space on our boats. But for sure, yes, we are also in the future to thinking where the way is going. Yeah.
How many sales have you seen this year so far?
We are current building altogether. Just let me count, 14 boats.
Well, that is a success story.
Yes.
And how many of those came through while the world was on lockdown?
While the world was on lockdown, we finished 3 of them.
Well, you know
But
what?
there
It
will
is a
be,
true.
but to be honest, we are in negotiations, and we will provide the new numbers in a press release within the next few weeks. So there
You
could
are a
be
true
there could be some
inspiration, a true
changes.
inspiration. You know, the fact is, when you see so much bad news and a news story like that comes across your desk, and you see that this company in the yachting industry is doing so much for the environment and at the same time is achieving all goals that they may have set for themselves as a company and continuing forward and being innovative, you know what? You've got to follow up on that. And I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah, and just, we are also glad to, because it's always nice, yeah, to have interviews and talks like this, and to take people a little bit on our journey. Yeah.
Well, it's been a wonderful journey, and I am sure that, you know, considering your ethos and the way your company operates, that you're going to have quite a journey ahead of you as well. And I would love to have you back again one day to talk more about where you're headed and what you've done.
Yes, for sure. Always welcome, and also you are always welcome on board to visit us, and yeah, let's to experience a silent yacht in real life by your own. So
I will be
once
taking you up on that
once
offer.
once we can once we are allowed to travel again, yes, for sure.
Perfect. Well, thank you once again. This has been Werner from Silent Yachts, the Chief Sales Officer over at Silent Yachts. If you haven't checked it out, I will provide all the links so that you can check out Silent Yachts. If you're in the marketplace, this yacht is the one to buy, because it not only gives you all the space and everything that you may need, but as well, it lets you live your best life while still being kind to the environment. And that is something that we here at Yachting International Radio are all about. So thank you, Werner, for your time.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for this possibility, and to all outside, all the best, and just the best to you. Stay safe, and let's see again out on the sea.
Thank you. Once again, you've been watching another edition of Palma Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Please tune in again for the next episode.